perfect. Thank you for taking the time, Jason, to share feedback on LoadProof, right? And the
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah, and, the way that we look at it is right. We build race cars, but we don't get to race them. You guys race them. So it's always we want to hear from you in terms of how it's working out, right? Things like that. So if you could please start with the introduction, we can get started there. Yeah.
Yeah, we decided to start using LoadProof for our milk run transit between our plant and logistics center locations. Um, it is already uh, it's already showed to be very beneficial in that some things tend to get missing in transit. And when questioned whether or not we sent it, um, we're easily able to access LoadProof's website and show them evidence of those things actually being on the truck. So it then, the ball is in their court, which makes it a lot easier to progress throughout the day.
Great. So how did you guys hear about LoadProof, and what was the problem that you were trying to solve, with LoadProof, that you thought this makes sense?
I think our manager found out through somebody else with the company who had worked somewhere that had LoadProof.
Okay.
So I guess technically word of mouth from other users.
Okay.
And and again, the main issue we were having was things going on the truck and getting taken off at the other location, but not being transacted or tracked.
Yeah.
So having two different facilities, being able to prove that we sent something to the other facility, right there, it takes 50% of the area that we have to look at out of the way, because we know it's not here. It has to be there.
Got it.
So really, right then and there, it cuts the searching time in half if we do misplace something. And then once we find it, with LoadProof, we're able to access not only what truck it went on, we're able to label it, whether it's production or whether it's not. We're able to see exactly what time that picture was taken. And we are taking pictures on an 18-wheeler trailer inside the trailer a lot of times.
Yeah.
So the ability to use flash and do rapid fire with photos, where LoadProof allows you to only have to touch the screen, and then the preview bar at the top makes it very useful as well. But it really has, I think at least 5 or 6 times in the last month there have been questioned as to where something was, and we were able to easily track it down using LoadProof.
Got it. And you guys are with Bosch Rexroth, right? You are shipping all the Rexroth frames. Is that what you guys are shipping?
Yeah, well, we deal with outgoing sales to customers, but we also deal with the milk run, which is just a figure of speech. It really, all it is a transit 18-wheeler that goes between our logistics center and our plant. So we'll take parts from the logistics center, send it to the plant.
Yeah.
They build something with it. They send it to us. We ship it out.
Okay. And what are the
So
products that you guys ship? It's all those Bosch Rexroth frames, right?
right, belt guides, elevators, modules, rails, ball screws, things of that nature.
Great, great, great. So, how was it, how was the implementation itself, right? When you guys turned it on, there are two aspects to the implementation, right? Obviously, there is the technical aspect, making the system work. And then the second is the people aspect, right? People have to really buy into it, in terms of using it. I mean, it's a new thing, and, they'll be like, hey, we haven't done any of this like this so far, and why do we have to do this, right? If you could please talk about, the technical implementation, how difficult or easy was it, and also same from a people perspective as well.
Oh, I mean, from a technical perspective, it was extremely easy to upload, download, however you say it. I forgive my terminology; it's not great. But I mean, we got it up and running. And of course, when you introduce it to people who tend to be creatures of habit. The first thing you get is eyes rolled, that they have to do something extra.
Yeah.
But once we sat them down and showed them really how basic it was and how user friendly it is,
Yeah.
everybody jumped on board. And as a matter of fact, the people that are responsible for using LoadProof here are also the people that are being questioned or interrogated when something goes missing. So once they realized how useful of a tool it was, we had no issues with people wanting to use it. As a matter of fact, we had a couple of other people ask if they could get it put on their phone as well.
Great, 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 fantastic. So what is that that opened their eyes and tell them, what, guys, this makes sense. We got to use them, right? See, because one thing that we always struggle with is that people asking that, hey, why do I have to do this extra step? And once it takes a while for them to. I mean, see, we can always, right? There is talking versus walking, right? We can always talk and tell them, hey,
Right.
you got to do this, blah blah. But once they realize, the light bulb goes off and they're like, wow, man, this makes ton of sense, right? What was that for you guys?
Um, well, the very first time we had an issue with it, or not with it, but with a
The
part going
shipments.
missing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
The very first one, it was actually an extremely big deal because of the price of the part that went missing. And due to the company that it was going to being one of our number one customers, it was a very high up issue that got what's the word, escalated. It got
Yeah.
escalated up to a bunch of people that are higher ups, and so once we were able to go back and I showed them, and the lady that was responsible for getting it onto the truck was like, I know I put that there. So we went back and I showed her, I said, you sure did. Here's your picture. And as soon as she saw that, she said, okay. And it was like that was her light bulb moment, where it was like, I don't think we've had to remind her to grab her LoadProof phone before the shift since then.
Great, great, great. So that when they realize, oh my God, this saved me because I captured these photos, then they're like, they understand the
Yeah.
importance of it. Okay, great, great. So,
Well, and
go ahead.
it's an insurance policy.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So, what is approximately, right? So, what is the number of claims that you guys have per month? Very high level, approximately, just scenarios like this. Um,
As far as with production, solely what I personally am over, we do. There's probably at least 10 to 12 discrepancies a month
okay.
that LoadProof helps us solve. Um, I think actually the implementation of LoadProof not only has helped find the ones that go missing, but also has really encouraged people at the plant and people here at the logistics center to be a lot more mindful of it. They know there's proof, so not, no pun intended, but they know that there's proof of what's on that truck now, so they understand that if it says it's here, they better find it.
Okay.
Because we have evidence now that shows that. So that's helped a great deal. But to answer your question, probably about it's gotten down to about 10. Before we had LoadProof, we were probably dealing with anywhere between 20 and 25 a month.
Wow. Okay. Wow, man. That is a lot of claims, right? And even, I mean, if obviously, right? I mean, you guys ship all this Bosch Rexroth frames. Those are expensive frames. I mean, even if you put like $1,000,
Right,
right? Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
yeah, and this is, no, you're fine. And like I said, this was more, I mean, it could be anything from a $5 part to a $5,000 part. It
Wow.
really, it is that big of a fluctuation. So, that's why it's so important to have something like this, because, if it's a $5 part, maybe it's not that big a deal. But when it is that $5,000 part, you better find it.
That's a big deal. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, how has your customers that have seen, hey, you go back and tell them, hey guys, we shipped it and we also have photo proof, for the shipment. How did they react? Has your claims come down? Are people even submitting that many claims, or what?
Now,
Yeah.
right. And the customer claims, and I apologize for mixing the two. The claims I was referencing, the 10 from 20, that mainly is from an internal perspective from logistics center to the plant. So the customer isn't even, they're not aware of that or privy to it at all. When it comes to customer complaints, I'm not in the quality department. I don't know the numbers, but I do know the quality manager here. And I know for a fact that he himself has utilized it several times. I don't have numbers for you on that, but I
Okay.
do know that there have been a couple of times in particular where a customer calls claiming that they didn't get something.
Yeah.
And then when we send them the pictures that we download from LoadProof in an email and
Yeah.
say, this is the truck that went directly to you, here's the parts, if there's any more questions, feel free to reach out. um, they don't reach out. They just
They don't come back.
they
Okay.
they acknowledge that they quote unquote found it.
Oh, great, great. So it's naturally. I mean, it's like, hey, we thought we didn't get it, or they weren't sure, and then once they look at the photos and they find it, it's like, I mean, there is they put an extra effort to find the item.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we thought we only had 4, but we have 5 now, type thing.
Okay, great, great. So how has, right? I mean, how has LoadProof changed the culture within your team in terms of like this, right? Now you guys have proof. Is it like you mentioned that one lady, nobody has to tell her now, hey, you got to use the phone and take the photos now, right? How has that
Absolutely.
changed the culture within your entire team?
Oh, well, it's definitely made a lot less back and forth bickering of, I did, I didn't, I know I put that there. No, you didn't. It's eliminated that, which is causing, a lot better morale. So you have better morale, less stress, and higher productivity, because things that were taking us maybe even a couple of days to track down and figure out where exactly it was is found within minutes now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's a huge change.
Huge change. Huge is a big word, right? I mean, that means it's improved everything for the better.
Absolutely. No, it's very much so.
Okay.
It definitely is a very effective tool. And as the person who oversees the transit between the plant and the logistics center, I personally highly appreciate it.
Great, great, fantastic. I mean, that's very nice to hear. See, so what is the approximate, right? Very high level approximate dollar value that this might have, dollar savings that you have had this after turning on LoadProof for your facility.
Um, I mean, just in labor of people searching while on the clock, um, probably couple thousand a month easily.
Yeah, yeah.
And then in turn of finding parts that were lost or couldn't be found, or preventing us from having to send out something just because a customer claimed they didn't get it. Maybe we send it twice now and we're paying for shipping the second time. So I mean, it easily several $1,000s a month, between labor costs or lost material or paying extra shipping to resend something.
Great, 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 great. So would you, if someone is on the fence, right, with LoadProof, hey, should I implement it, or should I, even try it out? Would you recommend, someone, implement LoadProof in their facility?
Yeah, absolutely. As much as I would implement or encourage someone to get life insurance, I mean, that's how I look at LoadProof. It's an insurance policy, um, and a very good one at that, and easy to use. So, um, I, I don't even think it would be a debate. Personally, I would without a doubt tell them absolutely. It will not only benefit you and your company, but it will make it to where your employees have a lot better relationship with each other, with morale and efficiency as well.
Wow, that is nice. I mean, it basically changes the culture of the team. I mean, people have better morale. People are, trusting everyone, and they can pull out proof and show it to the customers, right? They are a lot more, and they're not wasting time on unproductive tasks looking for stuff.
Absolutely.
Great, great,
Absolutely.
fantastic, fantastic. So, is there anything else that we can do for you, Jason? In terms of load proof, any other capability, anything else that would, help you guys on the floor, or anything else we can do for you?
When we before coming on here, I tried to think. I figured that might be a question. What and honestly, it works really well the way it is. I haven't come across anything where I was like, I wish it had this, or I wish I could do that on it. Um, I'm sorry not to have a good answer for you, but that's the best I can do with that. It really does. It doesn't leave you wanting or desiring it to have anything else with it, because it does the job as intended.
Great, 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 fantastic. I mean, that's all I wanted to hear. I mean, Jason, thank you very much for taking the time. And you're with Bosch Rexroth, right? Bosch Rexroth, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great, great. Yeah, I
Yep.
mean, that's one only thing that I was missing. Okay, perfect. I mean, thank you for taking the time to join this call, and thank you for sharing the testimonial. And that's what, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I'm not going to call my baby ugly, right? When I tell people, hey man, load proof is great, they're like, you're a sales guy. That's how they look at me. But when an end user like yourself that have used this, and how long have you guys been using load proof at your facility?
I want to say it's been uh, 4 to 6 months. I want
Okay,
to say at least four, probably 6 months.
six
So
months. Okay.
I'm horrible with time. I apologize.
That's all right. That's all right. See, that's what, right? That is the key. I mean, you're on the floor, day in, day out, shipping orders, receiving products, and managing a team of people that are doing all that. And when you guys say, it's different from what I say. So that's what we wanted to hear. And Jason, thank you for taking the time. And if you think of anything else, hey, Puga, this might be interesting. This might be nice for us to, have this in the mobile device or mobile app. Please let us know, and we'll be happy to make that for you.
I'll be happy to. Thank you so much.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you for the time.
Hey, you as well. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye. Yeah.